Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Clue the Don Country Fan Mail Podcast, tapping in for episode 120. Episode 120, season 4. I think this is actually going to be my last episode for season 4. I haven't figured that out yet, but anyways, it's going to end it off with a bang. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Appreciate y'all for catching in with me. As y'all can hear, I'm a little under the weather, but I had to get this interview in. This is an interview that I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to get this interview in a little while ago, and the homie was just like, nah, saying timing ain't right. And I respect that because I feel like things happen and they fall in place when they're supposed to fall in place, so you gotta respect everybody's path and everybody's process, I'll say. But without further ado, I want to bring this cat to the stage. Somebody who, if you've been listening to Country Fan Mail Black Wall Music for a while, you've definitely heard some of his stuff. I've used some of his music, some of his other beats that he's made on some of my other interviews. Shout out to Ryan Newman interview. I used it in the intro for that. But anyways, been knowing this cat for a while. Me and him, our paths cross on so many different levels, whether it is on music, whether it's dance, whether it's just being one of my homies, one of my brothers, somebody that I talk to, I confide in, saying we bounce ideas off each other. Saying it's a real genuine connection, and I want to get him on here, talk about his interaction and his journey in his music business, and saying producing beats and doing his thing. So without further ado, introducing my homie Darrell Huggins, aka Rekless Beatz. What's good, G?
Going on, man? I appreciate you having me on finally.
Already, man. Already, yeah. I definitely had to get you on here, man. I was just like,
Yeah, long time coming.
yes, sir. Definitely a long time coming, man. For sure, man. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start it off, man. What was the first song that you listened to when you woke up this morning?
Brother, what was the first song I listened to this morning? I ain't gonna hold you, man. Renaissance been heavy on repeat for me. I besides the fact that it's just been an extravagant piece of work from Beyonce herself, but it's been really inspiring creativity wise as well. Especially diving in, still being a student in the game of beat making and whatnot, just trying different elements, different sounds and whatnot. I've
Mm-hmm.
definitely been listening to her album a lot to inspire a different direction in my own sound. Hasn't been really like put out there yet, but it's just keeping me on my toes and in the world of creativity. But aside from that, I was bumping Tory Lane's new album too, seeing how I felt was feeling it out. I
Mm-hmm.
love listening to new music, so you're always gonna find me listening to something new.
For sure.
Um, it's not bad. Definitely not a bad piece of work. But shoot, if you know me, you know like his last piece of work was probably my all time favorite.
You talking that's the one that had all those different classics on it, like the one with T Pain and the one with like. Uh,
Nah. Alone at Prom. It was the '80s theme project.
oh, okay. I might have missed that one. I don't listen to Tory Lanez too super heavy, but I don't know. I
I
might be
don't either,
jaded.
but hey, like I was never like I listened to his work. Like I got some favorites, but it was never ever really a project that stuck with me till now. Like
Yeah.
I'm a fool for anything '80s, so like yeah, that one it was right on time for me.
For sure, for sure. So we gonna definitely get into that. I'm curious of because that's one thing I've noticed about your liking of music is that definitely if it has like an '80s theme, saying you
Hmm.
definitely feel it. Shout out to the weekend, but yeah, like I said we'll get into that. But so tell me about kind of starting from the beginning, like being as cliche as podcasts could ever be. Starting from the beginning, saying tell me about young Darrell, saying coming up. How was that for you?
Young Darrell coming up. I don't think you know that. Well, you probably do know. I'm an only child, so like oh, that is what it is. Um, I was a very social person until like late high school and whatnot. And I don't know how. I had a homie. Her name was Prolific. We went to church together and whatnot. She was big on music, like she raps. So just being around her, I was kind of like just trying to find an avenue to get into music. I was around actually a lot of people in the music world, whether it be singing, making beats, or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so one day, just downloaded Fruit Loops for myself and just found myself being on it. Um, I took a I went to school for audio production as well. I didn't finish school there. Honestly, the information given really wasn't pulling me when I so I dropped out second year. But there's some stuff I definitely retained from it. But
Sure.
and I haven't really invested in Fruits for a very long time. That was like in 2009, and to me it's like the pandemic now. I'm really like, man, I'm gonna look back. Let me try this again. And since then, like where I'm at, with my maturity and at the timing that I have now, I guess the resources we have now, I've really been like pushing the envelope with it, and like feel
Yeah.
like I never missed a beat for real. But now that I've restarted my pursuit in it, I just want to make sure all my steps are intentional. And still enjoying the process, enjoying the culture and whatnot. But
Yeah.
um, I definitely don't believe time needs to be wasted as often as we do. So like even now, I'm googling, studying ways just like to really like put myself out there, understand the game, the culture itself. I'm saying the business side of it. That's really a
Mhm.
big important. A lot of people don't really give enough credit to. Yeah, it's
So
cool understanding how to make the beats and whatnot, this and that, but understanding how to sell yourself and understanding how to be marketable is a world. Yeah, it's a world in itself.
for sure. So like so I know so you definitely spoke about the difference between the first time you tried to go to school versus now. Not I mean not necessarily trying to go to school, but just getting back into that craft of things. Um
Hmm.
so like tell me like I mean outside of, I feel like, with the pandemic, I feel like everybody, if you didn't do something, if you didn't level up some way in life, whether it was mentally, whether it was physically, whether it was financially, whether it's spirit, if you didn't level up some way in that time, that you wasted that time, in my
And
personal
honestly,
opinion.
and that's basically what it was for me. Like I was in my 9 to 5. I'm a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the trade I'm in for real. But like a lot of jobs were being taken in the world. Like thankfully mine was I'm essential.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, fortunately, but the pandemic still had its effect on me and my household. So yeah, I did take that as an opportunity to try to pick up a trade for myself. Um, and the closest thing I could think about, the quickest thing, you know what I'm saying, was music. It's related. Like we talk about music almost every day, you know.
Yep.
So
Literally.
like why not just like understand the realm of producing? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
That's yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
it was easy for me to pick up. And like I said, with the resources now compared to back then, like YouTube, like if you can't learn something off YouTube, then there's something wrong with you. So like school, YouTube and everything, YouTube and like this and how to put together certain sounds, like
Mhm.
how certain sounds are arranged, stuff like this. Just the basics. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's like Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
You know how Cliff Notes was for us back in the day.
You just put them shit
So
together. Yeah. It don't give you
yeah,
everything, but it'll give you enough.
yeah,
For sure. So you hit on something that I'm glad you said, but you were talking about that the fact that we talk about music a lot. Like
mm,
that I want to hit on that because like for real, like if it wasn't for the amount of time or the amount that we do talk about music, I probably wouldn't be as heavily in the podcast as I am, because I feel like that
for
group
real.
chat was, one of the main sources that I was having that constant, literally, like there would be sometimes that we didn't talk about nothing else but music. And if we drifted away, somebody was like, we
Mm,
ain't talked about music in a while. And then like we'll throw it back in there, you know what I'm saying? And then so I feel like that was really one of my main sources of being able to actually feed, saying whatever it is, those brain cells when it comes to music, or those vibes when it comes to music. So I guess this
yeah.
brings me full circle to my question. Like when you decided to get back into producing and get back into the music thing, like how was that the support around you? Like how was kind of like that the circle around you?
Um, I could definitely say the chat. Well, like our group chat had a big part in that. More so like I said, I'm teaching myself and retraining myself to make all my moves intentional. And like even in the sense of just like these random ass conversations that we were just having about music. Like why are we not like using this to our benefit? Like how everybody else is, like Charlamagne, the guys out here just talking about music. You know what I'm saying? And or
Yep.
Joe Budden talking shit about music, whether it be the actual art itself or just the politics of it. But he's using that as a tool to make money, which rightfully so. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All respect to it. So like, why not like embrace that side of it and use that as an avenue to finance us? Like, and especially in the day and age of social media, there's no reason why a cat like you and I can't be utilizing our social medias to our benefit rather than for our social well being, which doesn't benefit us at all. Like, don't get me wrong, that's cute and all, but
That's all
that's
it
literally
is.
what
That's all it is.
that's literally the job of a artist nowadays. It's not only to be a music driven person, but as well as be a social media presence. Like you at this point in this day and age, you can't be an artist without being socially present, successfully, because it's not only benefits your music, but it is an avenue uh, for income. So
Do
why
you
not
think
take
that's ever
advantage
gonna
of it?
change? You think it's ever gonna, well, like I don't know if let's say change or reverse, because I feel like before it didn't really matter how out there
Definitely,
you were.
it's definitely not going to reverse because like there's no turning back at this point. For that, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
There's no turning back because it was so financially beneficial. Like I can't remember what year Apple Music like really dropped. Was it like 2015? Like
So, yeah,
music
something
was
like that.
already kind of like on the net, but like once that made it available for any and every artist at any level, like you can't really like turn back at that point because now
That's
it
true.
puts despite what's the word I'm looking for publication and all that good stuff. The artists at my level can put my music out just as easily as the next artist. Um, the only difference there is just your social following.
Yeah,
How
that's
you see
literally the
how
only
that works.
difference.
Like, so learning how to be social is very important to the game now. And you know what? Like, I ain't gonna say I struggle. I will say I struggle with that only because I'm naturally an introvert. So
I'm
like,
about to say
it,
I struggle with this. I know you struggle.
yeah, it's a process to navigate through that.
Yeah,
It will come easy for some. Some people are just like socially that like not naturally that social. I sure ain't. So
I'm
that's
the
baby
same way.
steps there.
For sure. So I guess that kind of that segues me into my next question. So like I feel like well, it's a two-parter. So
Yeah,
I was having a conversation with somebody. They were talking about, music and whether it's still like a young man's game. That's what I guess the way that they what did they try to say it. And right after that conversation, I had pretty much hit that person's whole. I'm gonna say their name, but that person's whole logic I flipped on its ass because the next person that I spoke to is a very much so up and coming and successful person, and they touching 50, and I didn't
yeah, yeah.
even realize this, right? So I'm just kind of like, wow, this is wild. So kind of bringing it full circle, you know, I'll just say we're 30 plus. So being 30 plus, getting into the industry, and well, actually, no, I'll just say it like that. Being 30 plus coming into the industry, do you feel like there's I don't want to say a handicap. I'll just say, like, do you feel like there's a difference, saying coming into it, being a little bit older? Do you feel like it's a positive or a negative?
Um, it definitely was a thought. Um, I thought amongst others, but I don't want to tangent to the other ones. 'Cause you want to keep on top of age. Yeah, definitely being 30 plus. I think everybody has that like one day or two, maybe a month, where you think like, man, do I have enough time to like, especially like if they haven't really reached their dreams yet. Like, okay, everybody got
Hmm.
the career, but like if you haven't pursued your dreams, whatever that dream may have been, whatever it may have been, have you achieved it? And honestly, I see that in most artists. Most artists aren't artists just for the sake of it being a job. They're an artist because it was their dream.
Yep.
So, and that's kind of why I want to be at, whether it be like the best producer in the world, like Timbaland or some shit, or just being financially successful. And that's honestly more so where my mind has shifted to being. It's just more financially stable and
For sure.
able in this business rather than being famous, and, which is definitely possible. Like there's a lot of producers like you just don't hear about because they are just they understand the system of selling beats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's a different dynamic to it, and you don't necessarily have to be
especially in this day
in
and
the
age
front.
where you could really like make your own store and account online rather than like having to like distribute your music out in person like how they did in, like
Oh
the
yeah, you
90s
don't
or
have to go anywhere.
yeah. So like you just
Yeah,
find somebody's beat online that you just like and just purchase it off their Instagram or Twitter at this point.
for sure.
So the game for the beat maker is definitely different and definitely a lot more accessible. I'm saying
Yeah.
it's easy. You just gotta be. It's a pay to play in a sense. I'm saying you gotta build like for me.
Yeah.
I have my beat store on BeatStars. That's where I sell the majority of my beats. You can reach out through Instagram or Twitter, all that good stuff, sure, but that's my main page. And simply through that, um, people have access
Right.
to my whole catalog, all
For
because
sure.
like I pay a certain amount of per month. So
So
circling back to your question, no, I think it's just as easy, honestly. But I did have to get over that mental hump of like, yeah, I'm 30. How much time I got left? But with inspirations like Two Chains and Rick Ross, like, why not? Why not keep pushing?
Man, listen, look, you said that one great because after
Yeah.
reading, I read Rick Ross's book and hearing about how long he was literally, I think he was trying to get like he was trying to do his thing for like almost 12, 13 years before it actually happened. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, he was writing for writing for people and doing all this thing. And yeah, same with Two Chains. I mean, he pretty much had to kind of rewrite his whole image and came out, what I'm saying, again as 30
Yeah.
plus, still rocking it, still doing his thing. So yeah, that's definitely really great examples.
So if
And
you
I
love it,
think
you're gonna live it. Though.
what's up.
If you love it, you're gonna live it.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It is it's literally about putting something in front of you and really going to get it. And I think that that this kind of keeps segueing me into these next questions. You know, in the time that we've known each other, what I'm saying, we're through a lot of different changes, we're through a lot of different life. But I think one of the most significant things that's happened to us, saying more so recently, is that we're both family men now.
Yeah.
Say both married, saying you got a kid, which is super dope. So like
Thank you.
tell
Thank you.
me about how tell me about like how your decision making changes, or how maybe it has changed or has it been affected by the fact that saying you have to think about your wife and child now when you make certain decisions. I feel like there's it's just saying man to man is like there's just certain things that you're just not gonna be considering, or you're not going to consider for anybody else if you're not married, or if you're not saying if
Right.
you ain't got nobody at home, you just you're not gonna be thinking like that. You're
Oh,
just gonna
oh,
move
definitely.
the way that you need to move, right?
Um. Well, I'll start off by saying like my pursuit to be a producer kind of was simultaneous with me having a child. Like it just happened at the same time. So it was me juggling the idea of okay, how am I going to expand this idea of producing while being a father? Because yeah, like we all hear a whole bunch of different stories about people's come ups and whatnot.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, the stigma of not always being around is there. Due to just the pursuit of their dreams.
Hmm.
I'm firm and grounded in my house and my finances where I don't need to do that. If it happens, it happens. Um, like I said, like if you love it, you're gonna live it. So I'm not really out here having to go the extra mile, or I'm not trying to go the extra mile and just like sacrificing time with my son and family
Yeah, not if you ain't got to.
for the sake of the dream. Yeah, unless like it's super convenient. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't get me wrong, like that, like thank God, like there's been times where it's been that convenient for my household, and like wife ain't gonna have no issue with it. Like she cool, go ahead and do your thing. And I have those opportunities that I can take advantage of, but like
For sure.
compared to the single man, like who could be out there in these streets, you know what I'm saying, like selling themselves, marketing themselves. Uh, there's definitely I wouldn't say disadvantage. It's just life. You got to deal with the hand that you're given. So
The hand that you take, what I'm saying? 'Cause I feel
yeah,
because I had to think about it because I thought about it the same way, and I was just like, because I literally had to explain it the same way to my wife, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, if I really wanted to get in touch with up and coming artists, what I'm saying, where would be the best place for me to be? Probably at the studios, at the strip club, if I'm being
yeah.
completely honest. But is that something that I
And clubs,
necessarily
all
gonna
the
need to
above.
be
Yeah,
doing? What I'm saying? That's something that I necessarily need to be doing as a married man. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's kind of like how I had to change it up. So it's like my strip club is Instagram. That's
right.
my strength. That's where I find my artists. Is on Instagram. That's where my reach is. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, if I was single, I could move differently. I could do things a little bit differently, and not necessarily have to worry about it. But I don't look at it as a hindrance. It's just kind of like
And again, like look at the time that we're in, man. Like we could still have expand our reach while being behind a computer, which is the beautiful thing about like just how the things are nowadays, like with the
yep.
internet and all that good stuff. So sure, we like there are benefits we can take, like me, a guy like me, you can take advantage of because like look, you got your podcast going to what you like 10K, like 50K people, like listeners.
Oh yeah, 10K man, 10K around the world.
Yeah,
Yes
so
sir.
like all through sitting at a desk on a computer, like so like you're living that dream. You know what I'm saying? So it's just maybe your process may be slower than others, maybe it's faster than others, but like like I said, you got to work with what you got.
Damn, having a goddamn wardrobe malfunction and shit. But yeah, my bad. But but yeah, man, I feel that shit 100%, man. Because like, yeah, I had to do things, what I'm saying, the way that I had to do it, and I feel like there's a lot of people that I've even seen doing things similar to me, and they've
Mhm.
had, it's kind of like we all had the same opportunities. I just chose to go this way, they chose to go that way. Some people they're doing better than me, some people aren't doing it anymore, so I guess they're doing worse than me. And I guess it's like, but we all had the same amount of opportunities. So I'm never
Yeah.
going to, we all had that opportunity to take out that PPP loan. Some of us did, some of us didn't.
Right.
I believe that
Next
one right
topic.
there.
Next topic.
but but yeah, man. So something that I wanted to get into, man, just kind of talking about mental health, and that's something else that we talk about a lot in our chat. It's a lot of things, so I definitely get from that. And you know, we have a lot of, I feel like there's an opportunity to be real and to be open without judgment. So when it comes to, because I feel like those spaces are so important, because on a regular day basis there's not really too many times that I feel like us as black men can just be 100% open and vulnerable, because it will scare people.
Yeah.
I just personally, that's just personally what I feel. I feel like it would just scare people if us as black men really were 100% vulnerable all the time, because you'd be like,
Yeah.
what?
No,
Oh,
I
how the
definitely
fuck
believe
do you
that.
feel all this at that time? You like, nigga, I don't know, but shit, you know what I'm saying? Take a fucking walk in my shoes. So, anyways, bring myself to the
Right.
question. Um, how are you coping these days? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you kind of keeping yourself steady these days?
It's like, no, I'm playing. Um,
I feel you.
uh, I honestly, I have took the steps to like talk to therapists or whatnot. Cool. Like everybody just gotta get to that hump, but it's a pride thing. I don't know. It's everybody's process. I don't know why I never reached out before. Maybe I just never looked at my like jobs like what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, like
Opportunities
that.
that they have around, you know.
Yeah,
So the job that I work now, they have things that help with mental health and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, my healthcare plan, all that good stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, I reached out. I met with a counselor like 4 times. Just having the conversation, just the availability. It did help, sure. I ain't gonna say like I'm 100% recovered, or I ain't saying I'm like damaged or no nonsense like that. But you know, like
for sure.
it's always gonna be a slow process. But yeah, definitely have taken that steps definitely helped. But I now, I ain't gonna say I was out here doing all right during the pandemic, but
Yeah,
I don't blame the pandemic itself. It was just the job I was in was more toxic than anything. But I definitely moved on from that place and handling myself a lot more better now.
for sure.
But yeah. How about yourself?
For sure. Oh man, shit. Thank you for asking, man. I'm doing all right, man. I man, it's been a lot of transition, honestly, these last couple of weeks. And then it's been just kind of go, 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 go. And I think that's kind of why I got sick, because it was just nonstop going. And um, but I mean, as far as counseling, me personally, I go to counseling once a week. Um, but my thing with also with counseling is that, I realize, and I really hate when people spread this narrative that everybody needs the same type of counseling or needs the same type of counsel or whatever that is, or like therapy and all this shit like that. Because I feel like, there's people out there that kind of spread that narrative, and I feel like, I made the statement that everybody needs counseling. I made that statement before, but counseling could be so many things. Counseling could be sitting in front of a therapist. Counseling could be talking to your homies. Counseling could be talking to the
Yep.
preacher, the neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs counsel. It's probably what I should have said. Um,
Yeah, and you gotta honestly like weigh that for yourself as a man. Like, do you have
so,
that? Like, so not everybody has that circle of friends, you know. So they have to reach out and maybe like find funds for a real counselor. Others like they're blessed to have that circle. Some people are even blessed to have enough family to be that circle. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And many others don't. You know what I'm saying? So like
it's a
you know
toss up. It's
everybody's
a
different,
toss up
man.
for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So I mean, so and I know I kind of wanted to skate around it, and I still I'm trying to still skate around it just a little bit without diving too much into it. But I guess more so into your music, like what kind of music are you really actually looking into do? Because we gotta feel like we kind of really skated over across it the whole interview. Like we kind of just talked about music that we kind of like. We never actually talked about what what you actually want your music to sound like, or what you're going for, like what's your vision?
I'm definitely in the realm of R&B, but well, yeah, I could create a R&B trap. Uh, that's mainly like the priority right now. But man, like I said, like I bust out a few house songs the other day. I was like, dang man, it's tight. So I don't know.
It was a
It's always
vibe.
good to like try. It's all good to try different things. Don't get me wrong, but like I guess how I'm selling or I guess marketing myself is definitely R&B and trap related.
For sure, for sure. Okay, okay. And one of the last questions I got for you, man, like outside of, so I know we talked about Beyonce, I'll talk about Tory Lanez, but like who are some artists, maybe or artists and or like producers or composers and stuff that's out right now that maybe we probably haven't heard of, that you would probably want to like give a shout out to, or maybe that we have heard of but you just feel like we don't talk about enough.
Hmm. My guy Soulful Bix. Um, he makes hip hop beats,
Okay.
whatnot. Soulful Bix, y'all need to hear that man. He's on iTunes, Apple Music. That's definitely one guy. Mo Bass, my boy Joshua in Cali.
Yes, sir.
Definitely check his stuff out too.
Shout
He's
out
on
Josh.
Bandcamp. That yeah, those are my bros. So for sure, check them out.
For sure, for sure. Already, man, already. And lastly, man, if you had a message, if you had an opportunity to get a message out to everybody in the world, like whether it was a text, fucking smoke message, everybody in the world was able to see it, what would it say?
Mm, you gotta try it, man. Whatever it is, just try. Whatever, whatever thing you wanted to pursue, you just gotta try it, man. Like nothing's too big to just look it up, study it, and attempt. It's easy to learn something. What you even singing, if you 30, 45 years old, you trying to learn how to sing, you can look that stuff up now. Look, you can look where the classes are at. You can just there's tutorials online, all the above. Just give it a try. It's never too late.
That's facts. I like that. Easy enough, man. Just get your ass up, try it. Stop making excuses. You heard it here first. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on here, bro. Like I really
Appreciate
appreciate you
that.
tapping in, man. I don't know if you was nervous or nothing like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. Easy conversation, bro. But yeah, man, before we get off though, let everybody know where they can follow you and where they can purchase your beats.
Yes, you can purchase my beats at beatstars.com slash uh, Rekless Beatz, ReklessBeatz, as well as my YouTube account, Rekless Beatz, spelled the same way. That's where you can find me at.
Bad. I'll make sure that I tag it below. I'll make sure I put it in the description. So yeah, make sure that y'all reach out to the homie, purchase his beats. Thank everybody for tapping in. Thank everybody for watching. Clue to Die Country Family Podcast, 120th episode. I do think this is probably gonna be the last episode of season 5. So we're gonna go ahead and end it off right there. I appreciate y'all, bro. Hey man, much love to you, man. I appreciate you coming out here again, man.
Till next time.
Yes, sir. We out.